Hello, Princess, and good morning from the TTC. I ended up with pretty much nothing on my calendar today, so I thought I'd come over and try not so much of a challenge, but something I don't know, probably should have done earlier. I'm going to do a mask-free day at Magic Kingdom. Because, well, as you should know, I don't wear those anymore. No data, so no worry. Now, that means I'm not going to be able to go on a lot of attractions, obviously the shows and things like that, but there is still plenty to do here at Magic Kingdom without having to subject ourselves to any additional nonsense. Well, we are going to start off by the only way I can get there, other than walking, and that would be the ferry boat. Boarding from the left today, this morning's transportation will be provided by General Joe Potter. In the Magic Kingdom, and due to my much earlier than normal arrival, going to do something that I have not been able to do for a long time, and that's Sleepy Hollow waffle, fresh fruit, hazelnut chocolate waffle for breakfast, believe it or not. So, for rides, we gotta eat. After years of patience, this is the fresh fruit waffle from Sleepy Hollow. It is, well, a waffle with fresh fruit and hazelnut spread, although, yes, everybody knows it's Nutella. That was pretty darn good, worth the wait, should not be such a long wait next time. I mean, it was a waffle with Nutella and fresh fruit. Not even Rian Johnson could screw that up. Well, you know, he would probably put jackfruit on it or something. Ugh. For no particular reason, we will be starting our adventure in Tomorrowland and then just walking around, I guess, the outside of the park. I think there's maybe one, definitely one, maybe two we can ride here. Let's find out. That's the whole point. There are a couple of obvious ones. So Carousel of Progress, definitely inside. Swinging Over, Buzz Lightyear, definitely inside. Unfortunately, I already know that, well, the People Mover goes inside Space Mountain, but that leaves Astro Orbiters. Gonna have to ask about this one. It is an outdoor attraction, an outdoor queue, but there is one thing about it. And that would be the elevator. So, yes, I'm sure you're wondering, why is it okay to cram, filling in all of the available space, a bunch of people onto a teeny tiny little, barely ventilated elevator, so long as they're wearing a mask? This is why people do not trust the guidance, why there's so much hesitancy, why, thankfully, people are learning to question authority. Because no, it does not make any sense. Space Mountain is out as well. However, at least there are doors there and there. So I guess it's not totally nonsensical. Which means our first ride of the day and only ride in Tomorrowland is the Tomorrowland Speedway. So we're going for a drive, and I've done that before. Now, you can get a fairly decent autopilot experience by keeping the wheel not really hard over, but just, you know, a little bit of pressure to one side. Then it just rides the guide rail. No point in trying to steer around it because that doesn't work. Although I really look forward to seeing you try. This is supposed to be the fast straightaway. It never is. It would be really, really cool if these were autonomous vehicles. You know, like, well, like Pooh. Like Pooh's Honey Hunt. There you go. That's it. One ride in Tomorrowland, the Tomorrowland Speedway, although I do enjoy it. So let's ask the question, why is Disney still requiring masks? I can think of two reasons, and neither have anything to do with anyone's health and safety. That ship sailed months ago. Number one, I think Universal and SeaWorld called their bluff. Disney went back to the mask requirement thinking that the other parks would follow suit, right? So they wouldn't be alone. But when they didn't, well, Disney just couldn't admit that they were wrong and decided they had to stick it out just to save face. So, yes, they're just being stubborn about it. Next ride, guaranteed, is Mad Tea Party. I think this is the first ride we ever went on together. And look at that. They already have the stylized lightning lane sign up. When I'm on the teacups by myself, I rarely or never actually spin it. It's fine the way it is, and it did just eat. And That is a real thing. But it's still fun. That was a bit more dizzying than I anticipated, but it's okay. Next, we're going to try something that is 50-50. It depends on how they're doing operations today and whether or not you have to go a certain path. We're going to find out right now. And, well, the ride is Dumbo. Now, the Fast Pass queue definitely goes into the play area, but the standby queue doesn't always go into the play area, so let's head over and see what happens. I made it on Dumbo. It's been a long time. Or two, they didn't want a difference between here and Disneyland for reasons. They didn't want guests to choose Walt Disney World over masks because that would make the nitwits in California look bad and raise questions they didn't want to answer over the past few weeks. Understandable. But yeah, that ship has also sailed. And another thing, they didn't want guests complaining at Disneyland that they had to mask up, but Walt Disney World guests didn't. Though I think there are too many nitwits in California that have been duped into believing certain things for them to really worry about that. Next on the tour is Barnstormer at a 15-minute wait. I wouldn't normally bother, but today I don't have many choices, so let's go for a ride. I am going to request last row. Yeah, last row this time. Funner than I remember. Of course, back row on this is better. Get a pop of airtime. Very small, but much enjoyable. This was your first roller coaster here in Walt Disney World. I remember you sat up front with Mommy, which means Daddy and I had to sit in the next row, squeezed in the teeny weeny little train car. So I'm going to go around the backside of Fantasyland now, or no, maybe in between. I don't know. I think, well, the next option is Prince Charming's Regal Carousel, so I guess it doesn't really matter how I get there. Because Ariel is definitely indoors, and yeah, so is Mine Train. But I should go by and see, or make sure the sign is there. Confirmed, Pooh and Mine Train are out, but I am allowed in Storybook Treats, and it is time to hydrate. I never really noticed, but could this be the only sign for this ride? No big marquee? Huh. It has been quite a while since I've ridden the carousel, and it is such a treat today to meet Yolanda. As for the rest of Fantasyland, PhilharMagic out. Peter Pan out. Small World out. But carousels are still always fun. And I am a bit peckish, so I think it is snack time. And, well, no surprise, Mansion is out. This is the candied bacon from Westward Ho, and in an entirely impractical move, I also got the jalapeno poppers from Westward Ho. No trays or anything like that. It does come with chips, but inside Pecos Bill, they were out of forks, so I'm going to start with this, and then move on to this. Oh, and I forgot water. Yeah, ding dang. I feel a little bit silly. This is an attraction I hadn't considered until I walked by the riverboat, and I managed to get myself a front row seat. Don't think I've ever sat here before. I did at Disneyland, so this will be a nice experience here in Magic Kingdom. I guess Tom Sawyer's Island and the rafts would count as an attraction, so maybe we will head over those soon. Although, I do have to take a quick break, and well, we have plenty of time. Not really worried. We're back after a quick storm and work break. Here's the thing. I think this is a great indicator of why current year's Disney is failing. They think the guest experience is what they want it to be. They think the creative experience for the fans is what they want it to be, not what guests or fans expect or want it to be. Now, at Universal SeaWorld, pretty much nobody wears masks and everybody's happy. And the parks are packed. It's not a problem for anybody, really. So either Disney doesn't really care about the guest or fan experience, or they're trying to please the wrong people. People who don't give one whit about them, really. And they should have learned this from the way, way too long shutdown of Disneyland. There is an interesting looking float here. It is just soft serve, but since I had just soft serve last night, might as well give it a try. Dessert before dinner, because I'm allowed. But first, it is time for our next attraction, the Swiss Family Treehouse. Another one that I normally wouldn't bother with, but today, well, today is the day. That was the treehouse, and I finally made note that you cannot see the Jungle Cruise boats from up top. Our next guaranteed attraction is the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. Though why is it Magic Carpets of Aladdin and not Aladdin's Magic Carpet? It's just a spinner, and people often complain that it's like right in the middle like this, but the view from up here is quite nice. A little bit better than Dumbo, actually. Maybe not as good as Tomorrowland or Astro Orbiters, but this is quite nice, yes. Oh, and the breeze is quite lovely. 2 attractions later, and we are back because I am, it's hot and I'm thirsty. This is the backside of water. It is cotton candy, soft serve, with vanilla soft serve, I don't know what that stick is, like a tart thing, and Sprite. So yeah, it's a float, and it is melting fast, so gotta get started. That was cooling and filling, but that will not last long, so I will have to think about dinner soon. The only thing I would change would be to make the cotton candy flavor a little more like intense, because a little too subtle. It just was like flavored, but not really specifically. Anyway, let's take a ride over to Tom Sawyer's Island because, well, the raft is an attraction I can ride. Before we head over, we'll just get it out of the way. Splash and Big Thunder are out. Now, to make it clear, health and safety are not part of the rationale. For such a data-driven company, they're ignoring a lot of data, or lack thereof, really. There's no data that suggests, what they're doing right now is beneficial, and the other parks are the proof. There have also been no meaningful calls from health officials, local or state, for them to change their rules. They don't seem to be pressured in any way, so yeah, what is going on? I think my exploration of Tom Sawyer Island is going to come to a quick end. It is, well, it's not getting late, but I have been here for an unusually long amount of time, so I guess I might want to just go back and, I don't know, take a relaxer for the rest of the day. That was a nice quick trip over to Tom Sawyer Island. If it wasn't so late in the day, if I hadn't been here so long, I would have taken some time to explore a little bit. Maybe go to the Barrel Bridge, which is back. All right, there is one more ride, 50-50, but let's head over there and see if we can take a ride on, not Pirates because that's out, Jungle Cruise. Some basic recon says we're okay, so let's go. It says 45 minutes. I hope it's worth it. First time I've seen a lot of new set pieces, so yeah, I think so.
I told you they were gonna get worse. Uh-oh. Here we got some striped pork, and now, well, we'll get it in the end. Okay, what? I hope you like banana puns. I have a bunch, but it doesn't sound like...
I finally caught some of the new scenes on the Jungle Cruise, and okay, I'm glad I was able to ride, although I do not understand why I can ride this, but not Expedition Everest. And following the CDC guidelines is a sham because they're ignoring the rest of the guidance. Distancing in queues and on rides, crowds, capacity, cleaning, temperature checks, that's all still in there. So, did none of that matter the first time? Why are they only requiring masks now and none of the other things? Oh, yeah. Masks are the one thing that you have to pay for. I will not be staying for Happily Ever After tonight. It has been a long day, and I do want to head out before the crowds really start to move in one direction or the other. So we'll just take one last look at Cinderella Castle before turning down Main Street and heading on home. And that's it for my fun and, well, personally entertaining day here at Magic Kingdom, doing everything that I could without having to wear a mask. It's not anywhere near everything, but it was a lot, and to be honest, more than I'm used to doing when I come to the parks now. I've been here for a lot longer than I normally would, so it definitely worked out good for that. And you know what? We'll just wait it out, and well, remember, there is still forgiveness when they start making good decisions again, but until I can ride Big Thunder and Splash Mountain and Space Mountain and the People Mover, I will continue to be thankful for my problems.